We made it! It's the end of January. I'm in my 30s now and I feel like every year just goes faster and faster, but for some reason, January just seems to last a lifetime. It's like the Monday equivalent of the yearly calendar. It's cold, the days are super short. If you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of January. However, that's enough of the January slander, and sorry to anyone born in January, because a bunch of good stuff actually did happen this month, which we're going to get into in this video. And some good news before we start. After reading all of your comments on my roundup of good news in 2023, from now on I'll be doing roundups of the best things that happened each month for our planet right here on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to keep up to date. So let's take a look at some good news in January that you might have missed. After years of dedicated conservation, elephant populations in much of southern Africa have stabilised and are even beginning to show signs of recovery. In the Kavango Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, try saying that 3 times, a recent survey recorded 227,900 elephants, a slight but encouraging increase. In the past, elephants' declining numbers were caused by a combination of habitat loss and ivory poaching. But thanks to considerable anti-poaching measures, these beautiful animals have been given a safe place to thrive. Poland will protect its 10 oldest forests from logging, covering a total area of 260,000 acres, which is roughly the size of Hong Kong, following pressure from over 100 environmental groups. Over 70% of Poles want to reduce logging in the country, and although there are many larger protected woodlands in the area, the fact it focuses on old forests is really important. Old forests have often developed unique and irreplaceable ecosystems, which are essential for a wide variety of life. While we need to reduce logging all around the world, starting with our oldest woodlands is an excellent place to start. The world is charging ahead with renewable energy like never before, says a new IEA report. In 2023, we added a whopping 50% more renewable power to our grids. Most of this is thanks to solar energy, which is growing super fast, especially in places like China, Europe, the US and Brazil. This boom means we're getting close to the huge goal set at COP28 of tripling our renewable power by 2030. Solar and wind power are leading the charge, and soon they'll even outshine coal as the top electricity source. Moving over to Canada, to help protect important species from trophy hunting, the Raincoast Conservation Foundation has purchased the hunting rights to almost 4.5 million acres in Canada. This massive area, part of BC's Great Bear Rainforest, is now a safe haven for wildlife like bears and wolves. In order to maintain these rights though, the Raincoast Conservation Foundation are required to do hunts each year. But as Brian Faulkner, who works for the foundation, said, "We've been very unsuccessful at those hunts, and so the harvest rate has gone down to 0 in those properties. We just have very, very poor hunters." Instead, they promote ecotourism, demonstrating we can protect and immerse ourselves in nature without the need to shoot at it. How about that? A Norwegian court just said no to 3 big oil and gas projects because they didn't check how much damage they'd do to our planet. This is a big win for climate groups who've been fighting to ensure environmental impacts are fully considered in such projects. And here's Lauren McDonald, an activist who's been campaigning against the climate impact of oil fields, to tell us why this is such huge news.
The oil and gas fields that were stopped mean that 875 million barrels of oil will remain in the ground. And the court ruled against these fields because the Norwegian government did not take into consideration the emissions that would be generated from burning the oil and gas in the fields, despite the fact that this makes up the vast majority of fossil fuel emissions. On the other side of the North Sea, we will soon be taking our own government to court over its recent approval of Rosebank, the biggest undeveloped oil field in the UK, which is also owned by the Norwegian state-owned oil giant Equinor. You can help support our campaign by signing this petition telling Norway to stop Rosebank.
Groundbreaking research from the US Department of Energy has found that when you combine solar farms with native wildflowers, it can triple insect numbers in 5 years. These solar sites can not only create clean energy, but also enhance pollination in nearby crops, showcasing a successful synergy between ecological conservation and energy production. For the first time in 10 years, camera traps in the Sulak Phra Wildlife Sanctuary in Thailand have captured a tiger with cubs, igniting hope for the resurgence of these majestic animals in the area. Alongside this, the tiger population in the Hwai Kar Keng Wildlife Sanctuaries has seen a 20% increase over the last year, rising to 120 tigers. As Tony the Tiger would say himself, that's... India unveiled a flat pack emergency unit that can be rapidly deployed to disaster zones when a crisis hits. If IKEA did field hospitals, this would be it. It's equipped with essentials like x-rays, ultrasounds, and powered by solar energy, allowing medical teams to start treating up to 200 people in no time. This means that when a flood or earthquake hits a region, these mini hospitals can quickly treat people most in need, ensuring local facilities are not too heavily overwhelmed. A Mexican wolf, the rarest subspecies of the grey wolf in North America, has been spotted in a New Mexico national park for the first time in almost a century. They were once a key species in the ecosystem but were almost extinct in the wild by the 1970s. This beautiful individual seems to have wandered there in search of a mate. Out of concern for her safety, and since there are no other Mexican wolves in the area, scientists captured her and returned her to a temporary facility for breeding, before releasing her back into the wild. Her pups might be the first generation of wolves to return to the area and restore balance to the ecosystem. And here's some quickfire stories to end the video on. I don't know what that was. The British Fashion Council has banned fur from London Fashion Week after over 100,000 people supported Peter's plea for fur-free fashion. This move is part of a growing trend among fashion events and brands to reject animal-derived materials like fur. Copenhagen Fashion Week has already banned fur, the organisers of Helsinki Fashion Week have banned leather, and Melbourne Fashion Week now prohibits wild bird feathers too. Abigail Kawananakor, regarded as a Hawaiian princess, left over $100 million from her estate for native Hawaiian causes following her death at 96. Her trust, worth at least $250 million, is dedicated to continuing and supporting native Hawaiian culture and language, honouring her lifelong commitment to the heritage and well-being of her people. And that's a wrap on some good news from January you might have missed. If I missed any stories you've come across this month that you want to share, please pop them in the comments below. February is just around the corner, and with it comes a whole new batch of uplifting stories, so if you're eager to stay updated with positive climate news, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. It really helps the channel and helps to spread the good news to other people's feeds too. And if you have any change left in your wallet after Christmas, consider supporting these videos on Patreon. Your contributions help bring these videos to life and amplify the incredible work of those making a positive impact on our planet. Every bit of support counts in our mission to spread good news and inspire positive change. Thanks so much for watching, stay warm, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in February.